Video Cards with a Z is usually a nice website to get some news. We've got the ASUS releases statement on the ROG Ally SD card problem. Oh, it basically burns up the SD card because the exhaust port on there is close to the SD card. Really questionable design. I don't know how they're going to fix that. Good evening, everyone. HQ has released a new statement. I thank the community for their passionate response. What? Oh, by buying it. Okay, that's probably what they mean. Confirmation from internal testing. Like, how did they not confirm this before selling the thing? Did they test it? Or just like put together? Like, okay, it's good. Let's stamp it. Send it out. Under certain thermal stress conditions, the SD card reader may malfunction. That further fine-tunes the default minimum fan speeds. So basically, they're not going to do a hardware fix, but they're going to make it not perform as well and or make it louder with the hope that that's going to keep the card reader cold, like not burn up. I'm totally not surprised that's the route they're taking. It's a chunky boy. You can see these are called heat pipes, and this is where the CPU GPU is. Yeah, that's probably the SSD. It was noticeably quieter than the Steam Deck, so maybe there is some thermal headroom that they can kind of alleviate the situation with louder fans, but then the device is going to be louder. So if you go on a lot of trips and stuff, maybe it makes sense to have something like this. But at least to me personally, these gaming devices don't have a ton of appeal. Quite a few years back, this company, GPD Win, was releasing similar. There could certainly be other ones, but this is one of the more popular ones that came out. So this one even has like an external GPU. So they're up to version 4 of the GPD Win. Yeah, it's one of those slide up type devices, which is cool. I actually did have a phone that did the slide thing, kind of a fidget spinner of the day. You keep sliding it back and forth and break it. Through revision 4, I feel like at this point, this device is most likely, you'd have to look at reviews, but it's been battle tested more so than the ASUS one or even the Steam Deck. Okay, the micro SD is way over there by the hand grip. Yeah, that makes so much more sense. GPD Win 4 is fast, but it's loud. There's many gaming laptops. So I don't know if there is an option that you can get quiet, nice gaming performance in a handheld gaming specific device at the moment, but maybe the ASUS with firmware updates might still be quieter. Might be able to tune it just to not have as much performance, make it quieter. Same thing with the Steam Deck, I assume. I've had a number of ASUS stuff in the past, and they're kind of on the higher end of at least marketing. Yeah, I think I had a full ASUS laptop at one point. The material they used on the top was like that grippy stuff, and it didn't hold up over time. Oh, and the screen was, again, it was a cheap laptop, so the screen was not good at the time. I don't know if TN panels are even used that much anymore. Hopefully not, because they're bad. At least the ones that I had used were not good. I'd avoid this type of panel if you can, assuming they're still around. So another thing that is a potential issue with all these gaming devices, the analog sticks, there's different types obviously, but there's some types that are cheaper to make, but they have issues with drifting. If you're not touching it, and if it's screwed up, it'll just basically have your character or whatever keep moving. You can have a buffer area for it that kind of deals with that issue a little bit, depending. There are also these Hall effect type ones. They're usually more expensive, and I think they're optical, so they don't have the issues that the other ones have. It's just these companies being cheap. Not seeing anything mentioning fans. Let's see what else we got with the tech news. It is strange why AMD is not trying to push this situation with their GPUs. Maybe they just have too much inventory of the previous generation, but I feel like they're missing out on NVIDIA releasing some crappy 4060 type stuff. Doesn't make sense to me. I feel like they should try to capitalize on it. Okay, this one has 12 potentially. This is all rumor, but 12 gigabyte, 192. That's okay-ish, depending. Honestly, I don't think I would want to get anything below 12 gigabytes now. Although I've heard that the AMD encoders for video are not great. I'd have to look into it more and see like how much of a difference it makes. This is 900. This one's probably not going to be a huge amount cheaper. And then this one, maybe 500. And you can see that it did the same thing as NVIDIA with the smaller memory bus, 8 gigabytes of RAM. That's very much not appealing, and that's $269 MSRP. Hopefully they hit 400, like $399, which is unlikely, but maybe. This is like the worst possible option. So it's the 16 gigabyte upcharged low memory bus. I would take one. Don't get me wrong, I definitely take one. But yeah, this generally the 460 Ti, the 4060, not the best option these days. Problem is the new stuff has AV1 encoding, which is the main feature that I'm interested in, because I feel like that could help me out a lot in various situations. I've even considered going back and re-encoding my old projects and trying to separate the good stuff from the bad. I mean, not good, but the used stuff from the stuff that I didn't use in the videos, so I could potentially shrink my archive size, because it's kind of unsustainable. I probably have to write a script, which I've started to look into. Let me pull that up. Well, I'll wait. Any tangent I do in these videos is going to be harder, because I'm thinking of clipping these more and putting them on different YouTube channels. So in this case, Tech News would go to my Tech, I suppose, YouTube channel. Let me pull that up. So apparently this, my Japanese is questionable at best, but I had seen someone mention this means like cheap. I don't think that's the case. Kurotoshiko. And the pricing, 22,000 yen, is very good. It's A750, I think it's 8 gigabyte, which these GPU companies insist on flipping 8 gigabytes, $160 at the moment based on the current exchange rate. And it looks decent. It's just pretty standard, 2 fans, 2X first RTX 4060 Ti to drop below $335. So that's hitting the price of, I think, what I paid for my 1060. Hopefully we see them continue to drop in price as people don't buy them, hopefully. This company literally cut down the size of the PCIe connector, because the specific, the standard 4060 only uses a certain number of lanes. It'd be like a double whammy for my old computer. Doesn't have the higher spec. So this smaller interface would run at lower speeds. NVIDIA is not seeding 4060 Ti 16 gigabyte reviews. Seeding basically means sending cards to reviewers, because the expected output is just not going to be great. Acer Aspire Vero 15. I'm not hugely into laptops these days, because I just don't have a situation where I need it. I haven't gone to conventions for more than one day in a good amount of time. And usually those situations where I would stay or whatever, those were the situations where I would use the laptop. Pills Court from the FTC stopped Microsoft Activision acquisition. There have been a ton of these type of things. I don't know why this one's that much different, because Activision's bigger or something. Microsoft seems to be pushing a little bit more to put their stuff on computer, which is fine with me, because I'm not buying an Xbox. So if they want a chance at me buying their games, put them on PC. I always found it pretty frustrating where these console companies force you to try to buy their consoles, where it could very easily work on computer, work better on computer, look better on a computer. I've seen a streamer mention, I think it was Bloodborne, which is part of the Souls group, but it's exclusive currently to PlayStation stuff, so that's kind of irritating for people that would prefer to play that on a computer. Uncharted was another PlayStation exclusive. I don't know if it still is. I actually did a cosplay of Nathan Drake once. Kind of, sort of. I didn't do a great job on it. I haven't even played the games though. It just fits my cosplay aesthetic. Apparently they revised the connector that was burning up on 4090s. Yeah, so they shortened these data pins on the top, apparently, so that they don't connect unless it's fully seated, which makes sense. That's at the very least going to help out, and it's apparently backwards compatible. So they kind of did what they could to prove the safety of it. Yeah, I did see that Elon has a new X.AI. The goal of X.AI is to understand the true nature of the universe. How exciting. So all it's doing right now is screwing over creative work. Maybe not all it's doing, but a lot of what it's doing is like the diffusion type technologies with stealing a bunch of art, combining it into stuff that kind of looks new. But if you go and look at the source data and you look at the seed data that they put into these systems, you can get the same result every time. And it's generally, in my opinion, it's very much not like how a human takes in existing art and makes their own stuff out of it. So they have a thing, but early on when Elon took over Twitter, he let people look at stuff without logging in, but now they changed it so you have to log in now. I think he's been one of the guys that has been more concerned about AI stuff than other ones. At least for me so far, I haven't seen any general intelligence. Yeah, overarching purpose of X.AI is to build artificial general intelligence, which is the one that I think we need to get to have any like true benefit from. Admittedly, that's the dangerous type of AI. While it might sound similar on the surface, AGI is considered to be the step above traditional AI. Yeah, as it stands now, hypothetical technology is capable of solving problems that are outside training. Yep. My current system is basically feeding it a ton of data that people made, like a GPT. I have used OpenAI's GPT 4 or whatever. Is it 3? And it does some cool stuff, but it also is incapable of doing things that doesn't have a lot of training data on. For example, I've been trying to work on my video editor's scripting, and it's just doesn't have a lot of information out there on how to program in it. There's one guy that does YouTube videos, and I need to look at more of those. But basically, when I tried to get some code from OpenAI's GPT system, it was incapable of giving me proper code because it just didn't have enough data on it. And if it were generalist AI, it could do a lot of information and such to, in my opinion, it would be able to make proper code out of it by basically learning the coding from what it could find and creating like the ideas of making proper code out of it based on what I would request. But it doesn't do that. It's not capable of doing that. So the generalist AI and then above like super intelligence AI would be able to actually do that. So we'll see if Elon and X comes up with anything interesting. That was this one. We got PC World. I don't expect too much from these guys. PC Mag, HyperX, best of gaming laptops. I don't see the appeal of humongous gaming laptops. Maybe if you do certain types of work or you do like travel of competitions or something, it makes sense. Oh, you have an 18-inch laptop. It's kind of clunky. What do you even do with it? Do you take it places or do you just use it? If LAN parties come back, that would be a good use case for a large gaming laptop. 2013 or something. I had some friends that we would play D&D and drink and stuff. And then we did do like 2 LAN parties. Oh, you game on it at home. Do you prefer it to a desktop? Oh, from the couch? Okay. Do you use like a table? Because having a 18-inch laptop on your legs. Also, if you have a hot object for men, if you have a hot object on your junk for a long time, it can cause problems. Sometimes, okay, you use it at a table. Yeah, you don't generally put it on yourself. Yeah, that makes sense. It's got to be, what, like 7 pounds at least? Oh, 6.6 pounds. Yeah, probably not too bad. You're saying 4080 inside of it? Yeah. So they label it a 4080, and technically it is, but it's not like the same as a desktop 4080. Let's do a quick search on that. Okay, it's 35% difference. That's not too bad, actually. Okay, so there are more questionable naming situations for NVIDIA, where they used to use an M to signify a difference, but now they don't. I mean, it should be implied if it's in a laptop, it's going to be lower power. Okay, you're saying it outperforms a 1080 Ti on the desktop. Yeah, that's pretty much sufficient for most situations, I would assume. Laptop version, desktop version. Okay, the 1080... Yeah, the regular 1080 is much lower. So I feel like the 1080 series was one of their most successful gaming-related GPU things. So many people bought 1060s. I still have a 1060. FTC probe into OpenAI regarding data use and harm. There'll probably be some eventual class action lawsuit or something against them. I wouldn't be shocked. They're so top-heavy with the owner. I think it's a private company. So basically, when the owner wanted to quit after all the hassles they had with NVIDIA, I guess they just want to really give up the ghost type of thing. Kind of disappointing because they were one of the better brands for that type of stuff. Personal decision from the CEO, and he doesn't want to sell the company. Probably losing a ton of money not selling the company. So I mean, props to him for his principles, but kind of bad for all the employees. Oh, Amazon Mechanical Turk. This thing still exists. Global on-demand 24/7 workforce looking for data labeling solutions to power machine learning models. Crowdsource marketplace that makes it easier for individuals and businesses to outsource their processing and jobs to a distributed workforce. I remember years and years ago I poked around this thing. This could actually be a legal method of these AI companies getting training data. Makes some good sense if depending on how it works and what they can realistically do. So we've got human research, human subject research, missing person searches. Really? Data cleaning, verification, information collection, data processing, research validity, and people are considered independent contractors rather than employees. Yeah. So it kind of skirts the labor standards thing, not compensating people for their true value. $2 an hour, with 4% workers getting $7.25 an hour. Yeah, that's pretty bad. So they're automating their turk work. Oh, that's funny. I get it. Okay. So they're circumventing the whole point of using people to do this type of human labor work on the cheap by using computers to do their... Yeah, that's funny. I used the AI to train the AI. Pretty much. Oh, that's funny. So I'm thinking Amazon's going to try to work to stop people from using AI type technologies. All right. I'm going to end this.